this week because I wanted to do like another sit down type video again, and I was thinking about how like it's pretty much close to a lot of people's graduation. Thanks, Rona.
Stupid, I'm not gonna let you get the chance.
Graduations that won't really be happening, but you're still like, a lot of people are still gonna be going through this transition period. And I was thinking about it and I was like, girl, me to me, because in quarantine all I do is talk to myself now. I was like, I haven't really reflected on the fact that it's been almost 12 months since I've graduated college and moved on to the next chapter of my life. And it was only but like 6 months ago that I started this YouTube channel for that very reason of reflecting back. So I was like, you know what, why don't we make a video about the things I wish I knew before graduating. Disclaimer, I'm almost 12 months out of college right now, and well, I'm temporarily unemployed. Not quite sure if I'm going to be going to, if what school is going to be looking like for me in the fall with law school, and don't have a lot of money to my name at the moment, still living with my parents. So any advice I give today, do what you will with it, okay? You can take it with a grain of salt. You can put emphasis on every word that I say. I don't really care. And when I was going through the list that I was making, I realized, I was like, I have it right here in my notes. I realized that this actually could apply to high schoolers as well. People who, you know, if just like any time that you're going through any transition period, really, when you've gone from something that you've known for like, you know, a certain amount of time, 4 or 5 years, you never, hey, no judgment. A certain amount of period of time where you've been in like your comfort zone, this is all you've known, and then you're transitioning into something super big. So this is kind of just like a general list. It's gonna be 10 things that I wish I knew before I graduated high school or college, primarily college, because that's like my more recent, you know, like I just recently, well, not recently, girl, I'm washed now. I'm washed, officially washed. Let's just get right into it. 10 things I wish I knew before graduating. What I wish I knew before leaving was to worry about yourself. Worry about you and only you. It's very difficult not to compare yourself to others, especially in that last semester or those last few months before school ends. All of a sudden, because things started to seem like they were coming to an end, I started freaking out because everybody was like talking about their job opportunities. They were talking about the different places that they were going to be moving to. They were all going on interviews, all these different things. Psychologically, I was second guessing my own plan. I was happy for those people, and then a little part of inside me felt shame that I wasn't starting my journey as quickly as they were. What I realized that if anybody is also feeling that way right now, which obviously, you know, circumstances are different, you're not really in that same environment, so you're probably not feeling those same pressures. Some people are probably just like, girl, I am not stressed about school at all. But if you are, the way that you have to kind of look at it is like, be happy for your friends, be happy for those people who are getting those opportunities, and realize that that is their path. And the more time and energy you spend worrying about other people, the less time and energy you're able to invest in yourself. And even now, sometimes I suffer from that as well. It's your life. All that matters is it's about you, and that's your path and your direction. So comparison brings a lot of stress, unnecessary stress and anxiety to your life. And I have found that over the year, the less I've compared myself to others, the more comfortable I've been with myself, and the more attention and energy I can put into the things that I care about that are going to affect me and my life. 2, there isn't only one option after all is said and done. I think eventually, once you've tried different things, you'll be able to hone it all into one certain path, particular career path maybe, or job, or whatever it is, or a certain lifestyle that you're looking for. There are several ways to get there, and it's just about finding the right one for you. For me personally, I know that I kind of struggled with that. I said it out loud. I told everybody that I was going to go to law school. I told everybody that I was going to pursue a higher degree after this. So I have to do what I set out to do, and I'm still going to do that. But what I realized was like that was putting so much unnecessary stress on me, because it was like, well, what if I fail? Am I even good at anything else? And it's like, yes, you are. Like, keep those opportunities open. There's no one right way of living your life and achieving things and being successful. My third piece of advice, which I wish I could have told myself, was to have humility, to be humble. You really don't know how not humble you are until you are humbled. When graduation was happening, I was getting certain accolades, I was getting certain awards and achievements, and I felt like I was at the pinnacle of like my college career, at least we could say, if it even is a career, you know? And I feel really accomplished, and I've got all of these awards to back me, right? And I don't know how else to really say this without saying it outright and being blunt about it, but none of that really matters. People aren't really gonna care about those accomplishments, those accolades, and you will be humbled so quick when you become the little fish in a big pond again. To strive for accomplishments is a positive thing and it's a motivating force, but that your sole purpose shouldn't be just to get those awards and those things to be able to put on your resume and say, wow, I did it, look at me. Because in the real world, some of those things just aren't going to matter. Those things only matter in certain contexts. Okay, so on to something else. Maintaining friendships after college is going to take a lot of work. I have a friend all the way in Australia that I can't just hit up and say, hey, meet me here in 10. I knew that when I made a friend that's from Australia that after college it's probably going to be difficult for us to have constant communication. But I think just knowing like, hey, pick up the phone, call somebody, text, FaceTime, you know, whatever it is, like put in that work to maintain those friendships because they mean a lot and they didn't just mean something for just those 4 years. Now you're adults and you have adult things to worry about and you have work to worry about, and maybe you're involved in other things besides work. Maybe some people even have kids. Guys, I'm literally seeing people on my newsfeed these days that are having babies. Don't take those things, those relationships for granted, and the fact that all of your best friends were literally living in one place together. It shouldn't seem like work, but I think that people really underestimate how much how much effort it takes to keep those friendships going. Next, I think this is number 6, is to keep connected with my professors and any other staff that I felt like helped me get through school. Like I felt like I had actual real connections with. I think we can all at least think of one person, that one professor, that one, you know, that one coach, whatever it was that changed your life, really. Keep feeding into those relationships. Those become lifelong relationships. When you leave that place, they actually really do care about you and they will go to the ends of the earth for you to get that job, for you to get into that grad school. They will write you the most glowing recommendation that they can. And I think it's so important that you feed into those relationships because if they really did make a difference in your life, they're not just a teacher to you. Wish that I had made a point to have these relationships sooner because I never realized like how much I thrived off of them and how much of an impact they had on the person that I am today. Again, this goes back to the friendships, but take pictures and more videos and never delete. Save all, never delete. These days we think that we are documenting everything because of Instagram or because of Twitter or whatever, but you forget that a lot of that is so heavily curated. Like you are putting so much thought and effort and energy into those pictures that it's not like, I'm talking about more candid videos, more candid pictures, not just the ones that you're like in front of a wall and you're like, okay, we're gonna pose like this and ready? And ready? And ready? You all know what I'm talking about, okay? So more candid videos and pictures because those are the ones that mean the most to me. I wish I had encouraged myself to go out a little bit more, and trust me, I had a good time. You know what? I think this is gonna hit home for a lot of you, especially now that you're stuck at home and we can't go out, can't go to the club, none of that. Zip. None of that. Zip. We can all think of those times where we were just like, nah, I'm not going, or I'm not gonna do that. And it's just like, dang, I wish I had taken advantage of those times. So it's just like, you just never know when it's gonna be your last time to go out. That is the moral of 2020. You never know when it's gonna be your last your last time. Next is to take more classes that speak to your true interests. Wish that I had tried to figure out more ways to take the classes that I really wanted to take, regarding the things that I was actually interested in. When you go in there and you're like, your major sort of becomes your identity. Like, it becomes like your personality. Well, I said I'm a political science major, so I have to take political science classes. That's because that's who I am. Towards the last bit, I took a cooking class, which was way more in line with my actual hobby interests, and I had so much fun, and I wish that I had tried to do that at least once every year. Now granted, some of these majors and certain academic paths, they make it so difficult for you to really figure out what it is that you want to do with your life, and so a lot of us are constrained by those things. You're paying to be at that school, and even if it's in a high school, you're there and you're investing your time and effort and energy. So you might as well go ahead and make sure you are getting the full experience out of it. Another one is, I already said this, so I'm not going to go into this too much. You have a vision for yourself, but to not be limited by it and to keep your foot in every door. Towards the end of school, there were starting to be a couple more doors opening for me, and I got a little bit anxious about that because I was like, oh, but this might be deterring me from my path. Like, I'm supposed to be graduating from law school in 4 years, in 3 years, by the time I'm 27, I'm supposed to be here. It's like, relax on the timeline a little bit and allow yourself to just at least entertain it, because you never really know which one of those opportunities might actually lead you down the same path, but just in a different way that you didn't see yourself getting there. My last little nugget of advice that that from the minute I stepped on campus, I wish I expressed to myself more and more, is to be present. When I got onto campus, things started to move really, really fast. If you're a senior now, I think you know what I mean by looking back on it, whether you're in high school or you're in college, looking back on your 4 years and being like, where did that time even go? You blinked, now you're graduating and you're facing a whole new chapter of your life. Not really talking about that cliche where everyone says college is the best 4 years of your life, because for some people college wasn't the best 4 years of your life, and I also refuse to put a label on a period of my life, such a small period of my life, and say that those were the best years of my life. But what I will say is that it's fun, right? And it was a good time, and for those who do want to cherish it, the only way that you're truly going to appreciate it is not in retrospect, but if you are present in the moment. I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like for me. Being present is such a vague, it seems very vague. Like, what do you mean be present? I'm going to try and speak for myself and not speak for others, but at the time it was very difficult for me to be present because I was stressed out all the time. So I didn't want to be present because being present meant that I was going to be focusing on the crap that I was struggling with. And so I was constantly wanting to be in the next stage of my life. I was constantly just wishing I could be a senior already so that I could get this shit over with, not even realizing that that present moment was probably the easiest my life was ever going to be, as opposed to now where I am actually an adult and I have to pay taxes, and it's literally coronavirus. I'm waiting on that stimulus check. I'm trying to figure out how to make money while staying at home, all these different things that you didn't even really think were gonna happen, right? My life was so easy a year ago. And it's not to compare that and say that now your life sucks, Every part of your life is going to have good and bad, but you should appreciate that moment for all the good and the bad. I think those are my 10 things, guys. I just wanted to give you guys a couple nuggets of advice, and I'm so sorry for those seniors who are having to, some people might be thriving right now. You are at home, you are in pass-fail classes, you don't have to do homework. Some people are probably living, but I do know there are a lot of people out there who wish that their families could see them walk across that stage. Those moments are so important to a lot of people, right? Because you felt like you worked really, really hard for them. I am just, kind of sending out my love and good vibes to those people, because I can't imagine if those things were taken away from me in my last semester, because those were things that I really, really looked forward to. Although it doesn't take away from all the good work that you've done and everything that you've accomplished to this point, it just feels pretty good to have it all come to this one point where you feel like, wow, I made it to graduation, I made it across that stage, and I did it. It's very symbolic, but that doesn't take away from the fact that you guys made it regardless, and you're going to finish out strong, and you've only got a couple weeks left, and then you're over and into the next phase of your life. That's going to be amazing, and to just maybe use one of the things that I said today and see where it takes you. Thank you guys so much if you've made it to the end of this video. I look forward to you guys watching my next one next week. And yeah, sending love out to everybody right now, because I know we are bored in the house and we're in the house bored. Please like this video or comment maybe something that you wish you could have also told yourself that you would like other people to hear or read, I guess. And please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.